know, James, I'm going to start out this episode. I usually say good morning, but you know what? We are recording live at LGA, so I'm going to say a good afternoon to all the audience tuning in today.
And I'll tell you what, how fitting.
Please.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump in and tell a story.
Do it.
Okay,
Do
so
it.
I'm gonna rewind back, and we were at AGA last year. We just got out in the wild.
Yes.
Right? I mean, that's what it felt like.
Orlando.
In Orlando.
Yep.
And we had a blast. Remember our booth? We had the big, black and pink and Miami Vice-ish kind of booth.
I was wearing espadrilles.
And right across, I was in a linen suit, and right across from us was this young lady. And
the biggest fan.
So I know she
the
goes,
biggest
who are
fan.
y'all? And she took pictures with us. I have them somewhere.
Yeah.
No, what I did was I took a picture of everybody that was at y'all's booth and made it look like they were all at my booth.
Yeah. Well.
Oh.
Well, we broke the internet that week.
Yeah, we did.
It was great.
And then we got to know Monique over and over and over at shows, and everybody we know knows her, and everybody she knows us.
It's like the triangle.
It was kind of one of those things where were we last? When did we set this up last?
I saw y'all in St. Louis.
St. Louis.
At SGA.
So we were at SGA.
Yes.
And we were thinking about things and doing a full episode, and we were on for just a bit, and we were like, hey, we're going to be at LGA.
And she said,
me too.
Of course, right? Because she's like the queen of Louisiana.
No,
and
I'm not.
So,
oh, yes, she is.
She
yes,
is.
she is.
She don't claim it, but she is.
I'm not.
And so we hustled. We got it set up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying this because you're the one that's here, but I haven't been this excited about an episode in a long time.
Aww.
Because you were a blast when you were on last time. We had we cracked up.
Look.
Well, are you talking last night? Or are you talking before?
We're not going to talk about last night.
No, we're talking about at St. Louis.
Yeah, SGA. Yeah.
Look, just so you know, guys, flattery will get you everywhere with me.
Well,
that's fair. At least we're all on the same.
We do a great job at it. I think somebody might even say we're pros.
Monique, some people don't know you. There's at least 3 out there that don't. Please introduce yourself just quickly.
Okay.
And then we're going to lean in and learn a lot more about it.
Okay, awesome. Well, I really appreciate it, guys, letting me be here. I'm super excited to be on a full episode. I'm so nervous right now.
No, you're
probably going to stumble in my words.
No.
But so Monique Roberts, very nice to see you guys. And we're here in New Orleans, Louisiana, and I'm originally from Lafayette, Louisiana. So these are my people. This is my hometown. I love it.
Her voice changes a little bit when you get her in this setting. It just starts to get a little bit more of a draw.
She just went a little Cajun on us.
Well, I asked y'all when we were in St. Louis if y'all wanted to do an episode en français.
Oh, I can't do it. But
and I said, parlez-vous.
Why don't you say, can you speak French? Or just
I do not speak French, just so we're clear.
No.
I suffer through my very bad Cajun French, right? So let's be clear.
So if we were going to do a Cajun intro to the show,
what would it be?
Welcome to Coffee with Jim and James.
Welcome to Coffee. Bienvenue en café avec Jim et James.
Oui.
I don't know.
And you say, ooh la la.
Oh, ooh la la. Ooh la la.
Reminds me of the world best days when you wore that scarf.
I had a scarf on. I was.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, we were world
So we went to world. We got to tell us.
This is a great story.
Yeah. Tell me. No, please.
Get an episode like
so we went to World Gas. It was in Washington, D.C., 2018, and all of a sudden it was during the soccer World Cup. World Cup.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was the big one, right?
So we were there, and we had vest on, and we had
and
a
it's
whole
World Gas, right?
World
So
Gas.
the entire world's there.
Yeah.
It's the only time it's been here, like in a long time or ever. Right?
Yeah,
that's exciting.
It was worth it. So I took 2 things like.
We had 400 square foot there. We were like a postage
we were small. We were small, but we had T-shirts to give away. We had Santa Claus, and then I found 2 EWN like microfibers,
like
and
cool
then
towels,
I stapled them together, and I made a sash like a scarf.
Right.
And people loved it because in soccer world, a lot of people wear scarves when they
Right,
go to
with
the
your
game
team.
with their colors, and people wanted this thing. I said, James,
you
we
know,
should have
Jimmy
made
with a scarf is like you can imagine.
I bet he was marvelous.
Violently
He was
throwing
marvelous.
it.
Yeah, I bet.
And I'd sashay down the aisle.
Are we just gonna blow past that you had Santa there? Is that
Oh,
what you
hold
said?
on.
Yeah.
So okay, let me say, I don't know what your budget's like where you work,
I work at a nonprofit.
We're gonna get to that in a second. I want to
All
get.
right,
We're gonna
yeah,
peel back the
so
onion.
so how do you make an impact at a show that is world guest, right? So we're
Yeah.
talking, who was there, Jimmy?
Oh,
Chenier had a booth by us that was bigger than our office,
our headquarters,
and
our
it was a
permanent
temporary
headquarters.
booth. It had
Wow.
full-time buffet going around the clock. It had a full
Wow.
bar and barista in it. You could walk up
Wow.
and order anything you wanted at any time,
Wow.
and it was like making heavy-duty
It was.
barista, like bar
Wow.
service.
This is
That was one.
legit.
Oh, that
That's
was
legit.
That
one.
was one.
Yeah.
Then you go down to the next one. You go to
Uh-huh.
the Shell, or you
Yeah.
go to the
Yeah.
next
And
one.
they're all over the top.
And it's everyone, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I can't even name some of the big
Yeah,
operators
everybody. Right.
everywhere.
Right.
Everyone was there.
Right. So you had to make an impact.
So
And
how do you do that when you?
Santa
400
Claus?
square
No.
foot. Now, 400 square foot is normally big,
This
right? But
place
we were like,
was like 2 million square foot or something
Yeah.
of
Yeah, it
exhibit
was-
Yeah,
space.
it
it was
huge.
insane.
It was the one that they did in conjunction with
AGA.
AGA. I was there.
You were at AJ.
Yeah.
Did you,
Did you
go
come over to
it?
World
I
Gas?
did, but
Did
I
you
didn't
see
Santa
y'all.
Claus?
No,
Oh,
I
thanks
did
for
not.
hanging out.
Sorry.
All right.
So anyway,
Next guest.
it was a lot. So we brought Santa. So we have a real beard Santa that worked with us.
That's cool.
That
and
does
he was
Santa professional.
instructional.
Goes to a Santa school.
He's
He's
legit
retired
dude.
since.
Yeah.
He was on the show, Red Show.
Right on.
And so we brought Santa, which was a huge hit.
It was. It was funny because
And
people
And
did
the
the
last
same.
day
What did
we
people
had
do?
jugglers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because again,
Yeah.
we just had that little spot.
But your makeshift scarf was more popular than Santa?
It was close. It had a lot of longevity through the whole week. I would wear it
It was
everywhere,
a close
out on the
second.
streets. I mean, I would. And
I
again,
don't know what we're doing, but
Darling.
anyway,
Let's get
you
back on
needed
track.
to hear that
That's
story.
marvelous. That is
I wanna get a
absolutely
scarf
But
marvelous.
enough about us, Monique. You're the guest.
you are the
Unless
guest.
you have some questions.
No, I mean, you've
I'm
already
kidding.
covered so much.
Do we find out where you work at? Do we
Yeah,
cover that?
no, we did. We did. You know what? I asked you guys a second ago if I was like, is this your real job? Like, you just get
No.
to do this?
Well, nobody's stopped us yet. But
Yeah, this is amazing. And
it
he
might
said
be-
no, that
this
y'all
might
had
be
real
the
jobs.
We had
one.
real
Yeah.
jobs.
this
yes.
might be the one, though, Monique.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
So,
here's what I'm gonna
Do it.
change what he said though.
okay.
Because I'm a big origin story guy.
Right on.
Oh,
And
boy.
you
Right on.
said it when I told you. You said
There we
What'd
go.
you say?
Okay. Everybody loves an origin story.
It's the truth,
They do.
right?
They do. I'm a
So
Marvel
I
fan.
want to know that.
Okay.
Like I want to know the Monique Roberts origin story.
Okay. Well, we're gonna start in like 87, or are we
So-
gonna?
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
No. So let's-
2002, I was
Right.
born.
Yeah. No,
Yes.
no. I was born in the 1900s. So let's start it last night. How about that? So
Okay.
last night we opened up the reception last night. The Louisiana Pipeliners Association sponsored the reception last night here
Yes.
at the
Very
LGA, and that
Which
was
is
really
wonderful.
Really
Yes.
awesome reception.
Yes, and I only spoke for a couple of minutes, and they were like, "Oh, do you need a microphone?" I'm like,
Oh, no,
you
she
know
did
me."
not. No.
Yeah.
No.
You're new here.
Right. You know here. So it was great because we were able to really what we're really trying to do with the Louisiana Pipeliners is to partner with other organizations that have a focus in pipeline safety, right? And of course, LGA is an obvious choice, right?
No
So
doubt.
we've been doing a bunch of stuff together as different organizations. They participated in our gumbo cook-off, and we have
Offshore fishing.
we did
Yeah, the
fishing.
fish
Yeah,
out. The
last
fish
last
out?
month we did
No,
our
what?
9th annual fish out, and it was
Fish
the
out.
largest one that we've ever
I've
had
got to
yet.
go. Will
It's
you invite
amazing.
me next year?
Yes, I will. Shane Crochet runs all of that stuff, and he does an exceptional job. And this year, we grossed almost $100,000 at that one event, which is amazing, right? The
Wow,
big
that's
proponent
incredible.
of Louisiana Pipeliners Association is that the coolest of all the things I do, and all the things that I've ever done, and all
Which
of
is
the
saying a lot,
side
'cause we know
projects,
Monique.
and all of the
Oh,
everything
we do.
hands down, the coolest thing that I do is write out these checks for these scholarships for these kids, for these students. I mean, it's the literally coolest thing.
Yeah, let me just say it one more time. You
Uh-huh.
raised $100,000 in one event.
In one event, yeah, absolutely. We've really grown as an organization. So my father actually started the Louisiana Pipeliners Association 25 years ago.
Your dad did.
He did.
He started the association.
He did. He was a member of the Houston Pipeliners Association, as well as the Atlanta Pipeliners Club,
Shout
as
out.
well as the Tulsa Pipeliners Club, and
Shout
the
out.
Oklahoma, and all of the Pipeliners
Shout
Clubs, right? And he was like, we really need to have one in Louisiana. And so him and quite a few fellows here in New Orleans, actually, Chevron and a bunch of great organizations and groups got together, and they started this organization. for the sole purpose, really, of bolstering the economy related to pipeline in
Okay.
Louisiana, as well as providing a civic service, right? We're really big about giving back. And so we want to give out all these scholarships. So I was actually the one of the two first recipients of the Louisiana Pipeliner Scholarship 25 years ago.
And you were a
Allegedly.
prodigy, so you were 4 at the time.
Yes.
right,
Skimmed
exactly.
right
Yeah.
through
Yeah,
all of the
yeah,
basics.
right. So it's actually myself and another fellow named Jeremy Smith, who works for Energy Transfer, and he is now on our board of the Louisiana Pipeliners
Get out
Association,
of
and I'm
town.
an
Oh,
officer.
really?
Yeah, and so the two of us who were the first recipients of the
Recipients are
scholarship,
still in the industry
We are
and
s-
still participating.
we are, and we're trying to give
What
back
a
because we got to
testimony
go
to what you
school.
just said, right? The
Yeah.
civic part of it,
Mhm.
and that.
You got to give
I
back,
mean,
man.
You got to
Tell
give back.
you what, give it all away.
Can I ask a question in the spirit
Sure.
of give it all away? How much in scholarships has your organization, your association given away throughout the years?
So we are almost at, not counting the checks that are literally on my kitchen table right now that need to go out in the mail. Not counting that, we are almost at $1.7 million.
Wow.
Incredible.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
really
incredible.
cool. It is really
That's
cool.
a huge
And
number.
everyone's cheering.
Yeah, and
as
it's
far as we
all,
can see.
it's because of our members. Our members are so giving and
Fantastic.
so gracious of their time and energy and effort and dollars, right? It's why we're such a great organization. And I think we're almost at 400 followers on LinkedIn now, and we
That's
have like
respectable.
hundreds of members and member companies and everybody. And so if you do business at all in Louisiana, so you don't have to be a Louisiana company, you don't have to live in Louisiana, but if you do business at all related to pipeline
In Louisiana, you should be a member.
you got to. You got to. That hashtag ain't nothing finer than a Louisiana pipeliner.
Oh, ain't nothing funner
happening
than
right
a
now?
Louisiana
Did you make that
pipeline.
up?
Yeah.
I did.
Right now?
I feel like you
No.
did.
Oh,
No.
okay.
She
No.
always drops
It's very
hashtags
old.
on us.
I've been dropping a lot of hashtags. I'm starting to
On
aggravate myself
purpose?
with it, and I think I'm gonna take a pause. But yeah,
That's
so that's the Louisiana Pipeliners has grown into this incredible organization, and so that's why I'm here at the LGA, was to do that reception. for last
So
night.
let me ask you this, because you are here, and how has the relationship been with LGA
Oh.
and that? I mean, is it just
It's amazing.
tight?
Yeah, it's
Like
absolutely amazing.
Yin and yang,
Supportive?
just fit into
Absolutely.
each
Both
other.
ways?
Very much so. So historically, LGA has been really much more encompassing of the entire asset life cycle, right? So
Sure.
their distribution, they have a lot of LDCs
Yep.
and everything. Whereas Louisiana Pipeliners has historically really just been in the midstream area, the transmission pipe area, right?
Okay.
And so in coming together and working together, not only do we get more of the word out around pipeline safety to our larger group of people,
Right.
but we can also share in resources and learn from one another, right? As well, on the because we're all in this together. When something happens to one of us, it happens to all of us.
all of
Yeah,
us, yep.
exactly. So it's been really, really great. Both organizations are really working well together, and it's cool.
And so you work a lot with the Tapman group, I would take it.
Yeah,
okay.
Jamie and Lauren
Oh,
and all
yeah.
those
They're the
guys.
best.
They're
Aren't they
awesome.
great?
Yeah, they're great.
Friend of the show.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We've had
Yeah.
them on before.
they're wonderful.
So you are in a new role, a new position.
I
We
am.
heard some things. We saw it on the LinkedIn's.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
But we wanted to hear it straight from you. And I know we
Okay.
had you in St. Louis, and you
Yeah.
talked a little bit about it. And
Yeah.
then we were like, hey,
Yeah.
come on back. And I'll be honest, a lot of it's selfishly for me, because I want to understand a gap that I have, which is pods, right?
Right on.
So not to steal your thunder,
Sure,
but go ahead
sure.
and tell everybody
Yeah.
who you
Yeah,
are.
yeah. I
let it-
appreciate it.
If we want to know, there's other people that want to know. So if
That's
we can
cool.
How
understand, they can
pretentious does
understand.
that feel?
No, it's really cool.
Someone's out there going, I wonder what Monique's
Yeah. It's cool. Look,
doing. She's
my
doing
dad,
a podcast.
my dad used to always say, he'd be like, baby, if somebody wants to talk to you, you better talk to them. Because you might wake up one morning and nobody wants to talk to you. And then what you going to do?
That's basically the tagline of our show.
Yeah,
Holy cow.
that's the best.
There
Yeah.
couldn't be anything more accurate.
That
than
is
Yeah.
very accurate.
No, it's true. It's true.
Sad
So
day.
you are right. About 6 months ago, I started a new venture, and I actually partnered up with some really great people to start a company called Integratech. And it's a really, really cool company. We're very small. And we're very agile. I say small and mighty, right?
Okay.
And we do a lot of really cool stuff around data, data analytics, business intelligence, and all that stuff. Well, around the same time that I decided to do this, the Pods Association reached out to me and said, "Hey, we're looking for a new executive director. We'd love to see you in the role." Well, it's a nonprofit organization, right? So I was like, I've been in sales for my whole career, so
Right,
I
right,
have
right.
grown accustomed to a certain lifestyle, right?
Okay, we can understand that.
Back my shoes.
Okay.
Uh,
Exactly. I got these headbands are very expensive.
yes,
So
that jacket's nice.
yeah, no, it's Amazon. So
Fresh to death.
and it's not ironed either. Sorry.
It's fine.
It's iron.
Yeah. I've wore the same coat for 3 days.
Yeah.
No problem.
Oh, is
And
that?
Both of us.
that's in.
And we're in New Orleans.
Yeah,
we're in New
yeah.
Orleans.
Is that what that smell
Lots
is?
of Febreze.
I have 4 of these, and I only
That's the
brought.
sales life. Hashtag sales life.
Yeah.
You
she
switch them
says.
out every week.
It's
okay?
true.
Yeah,
No,
you
I
Dry
get
just gotta
cleaner
it.
back.
rotate
No.
Dry
them
cleaner
and do
back.
the best you
Dry
can.
cleaner back.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you got to dry clean in the hotel.
Hey, I keep
Especially in New Orleans.
like a bag. I
hot.
always have a bag packed. Like I have, those in
like
the
a go
hotel.
bag. You're talking about like
No,
if you
no,
need
no.
to like run.
Well, no,
I have one of
I have one of
those.
those too.
Money laundering
I
one.
have my get out bag. That's my
Oh,
get out bag.
that's what it's
No, so at my home, I have the hotel racks that open up and you can put your suitcase
Yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
I
Chicken-
have one
That's
in
fantastic.
my home,
Of
in
course
my
you do.
room, right?
Why
Because
wouldn't
I'm always going.
Yeah.
Always have a
always
suitcase
open.
ready to go.
Always got to go. Yeah, you
Yep.
got to go.
Aggressive.
So yeah, it was really cool when Pods reached out and said, hey, we'd like to talk to you about the executive director role. We think you have great energy, and we think that you could help, reinvigorate and build Pods and grow Pods and everything. And I was like, okay, well, here's the deal. I think it'd be pretty cool for the first time in a long time. I'm actually billable, right? Instead of just being a drain as a business development person.
I'm a profit
We
center
don't.
now.
We don't have to say drain.
Don't say that.
Yeah,
out loud.
exactly.
We're all
sorry,
safe.
sorry. Okay, good.
Yeah, nobody's listening, so
Right,
don't worry about it. It's okay.
Right. So I was very grateful that at the beginning of February, Pod said, yes, we'd like to have you on as our executive director. And so my job, right, literally is Pods. That's all I do is Pods. It's wonderful. And so, the Integratech guys
You know what
are.
I'm about to ask.
Yeah.
I was
Like,
going
she
to,
just
but
glazed over like, oh, it's all pods. It's just pods. Like,
Well, and
I
you're-
imagine these little pods that,
Right.
that are floating around.
Well, that's my
you know.
goal is that when people Google Pods, that I'll come up before the storage units. That's
Oh,
that's
work
my
with
goal.
me.
Yeah,
I'm a
that's
search
I'm going to
engine
work
guy,
on the
too.
SEO. Yeah.
I got you.
So I am 100% Pods, and I'm Pods facing on the things that I do. But nobody has one job, right? Everybody's got a ton of jobs, right?
What?
Everybody
this is
wears
the
a
first
ton of
we're
hats.
hearing of this.
Just like you guys, right? I was like, is this your real job?
I don't
No,
think
you have
so.
multiple jobs, right? And
Yes.
so I'm Integratech, and then Integratech builds me out to Pods, right?
Man, genius.
and the question is going to be.
Yeah, I want to understand pods.
Awesome.
Because
Yes.
that's where I don't
Yeah.
understand.
That's
That-
the disconnect we
And,
have.
and
I
you're,
love it.
And you were talking like business intelligence and stuff
Mhm.
like that. Like,
Yeah, it's great
tell me
stuff.
all about everything,
I
or all of us.
Yeah.
I guess.
I have always
forget your
said that
That's all right,
the dream job, right, is in pipeline integrity, right? I'm a third generation pipeliner, right? My dad was a pipeliner, his dad was a pipeliner, everybody's a pipeliner. My brother's in upstream. He thinks he thinks he's cool. He's not.
Is he still in Louisiana?
He's in Baton Rouge, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
fair.
But so everybody else is a pipeliner, right? And so I was like, how do I
Everyone
work in pipeline and move the ball forward? And so in innovation and safety, integrity management, and everything. And so I got some really cool jobs along the way, and I got to work with some really great people. And my best boss ever, right, Jeff Weiss, got to plug. He's amazing.
Oh, yes,
Best
he
boss
is.
ever.
Yeah.
He's
Absolutely.
about to be on the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Next
I'm
week?
excited. I'm excited.
Wednesday.
He's excited about it too. He's gonna like shave and everything.
What?
So yeah. And
We won't
so
recognize
He
him.
wears good
Right.
polos.
as I'm working with Jeff, I'm realizing that a lot of the issues that are happening, and the reason why almost all of the incidents that have happened that are very unfortunate in the industry and to our asset system is due to missing data, incorrect data, misappropriated data, or what have you. A lot of it goes back to data, right? And so we need to be better data curators. We need to be better organizing data, right?
See, like he's just gonna be like, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go
But
ahead.
Tell me something.
it's
though.
like a
So when you
ping
say
pong
data,
match.
tell me what kind of data.
Okay. So
Is it all the datas?
Pods started 25 years ago. Next year will be 25 years. By operators and by GIS professionals in the service industry that support those operators,
Okay.
specifically around building a data model that was specific to pipeline, right?
Okay.
Long transmission, many miles of pipeline
Right.
with a ton of information on each one,
All the
right?
things.
So much information that you have. Well, I mean, there's so many different
Everything.
variables that you have.
Everything.
There's the list of things that you have that are mandatory minimum according to the regs and the rules, right? The Federal Register. But then there's all this other information that's really good to have, right? That
And
can
it's
help you with
available,
your
right?
risk and your rate
Anything
case.
available.
Absolutely, absolutely, everything available. And so the best way, these guys all sat down, the big brain dudes sat down and said, we need a standardized model to where we can organize all of this information so that everybody's playing in the same sandbox,
Okay.
and so that we can focus on innovation, we can focus on finding the issues, we can focus on organization, rather than oh well, you're using a different model than I am, and so I can't understand your
Yeah.
data
Sure.
because it's a different thing, right?
Right.
So they all got together and they said, how can we make this as transparent as possible so that all of these operators can operate safely, and so all the service providers can innovate on that model, and that we can all build on each other, right? And so
Okay.
because we're a nonprofit member-driven organization, everything is built by our members. So it's a safe place that everybody, competitors, can work together, right?
It's about the data.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And
So, no, please.
I was just, where do we store this data? So I'm going back in my mind. We're going back 25 years where this began, and at
On
that point,
Monique's desktop.
we're looking at
I can imagine
know,
what your desktop looks like.
outside diameter, inside diameter, wall thickness, welds, what type of welds,
Coding.
Yeah, everything.
fusion bonded epoxy, not
Everything.
HDD, not.
Time.
Everything.
Where do we put all these items? Where's it?
So to be clear,
Yes.
this model, right, is a model that whenever you join pods, depending on which version, we're on 7.0.1 right now, right? You join pods and you get the model, and you put it onto your system, right?
Okay.
So
We're
your
gonna film
data,
that.
your data is hosted by you, right? It can be in the cloud, it can be on your servers, it can be wherever. So it's all your stuff. You
Okay.
get a copy of the model,
Got
right?
it.
And then that way you can then apply the model into your system. Now, a lot of our members will put variations, and everybody's system is
doubt,
different,
no doubt.
right? So even
But the
PHMSA,
baseline
the
is
baseline
more
is
or less
pods.
there.
Even
The
PHMSA,
standard is
yeah.
right.
So PHMSA uses the pods model, right? So when
That
you
was my
upload,
next question.
Mhm.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
when you upload your NPM into NPM, all of the operators every year upload everything to NPMS. It's a version of pods that they're using to keep all of that data organized, so it's all on the same level playing field.
So let me see if I follow.
Take it.
So I'm gonna say you as in pods. You pods.
Those smarter people than me.
Yes,
Mhm.
obviously the whole company.
Yep.
Pods creates a standard. There's an agreement by all the stakeholders. Standard is made. Start collecting data. I mean, that standard is delivered to stakeholders.
Yep.
They begin delivering data into said model, and obviously there's data already available now that you could begin to start pouring through reports. But I mean, it's the big thing. AI, machine vision, like pointing smart algorithms to it and letting it go to work for predictive analysis and other things like that.
So everybody's at a different spot, right?
No doubt.
And you guys know that pipeliners are not going to be bleeding edge on anything,
No.
right? We
Is
operate.
that the vision
Right.
down the road?
It is. It is.
Okay.
The
I
vision
saw where
down
you're
the
going.
road is absolutely, it's the digital twin. You have to have visibility to your assets in the field without being in the field. You have to. Not only do you need to know what's in your asset, where your asset is, and all of the variables and attributes that are associated with your asset, you also need to know what's around your asset.
Yeah.
So pods, once you're a pods member, you have access to our data resource center, our regulatory resource center, all of our training and education library as well. So we have curated thousands of free data layers that you can go into the system, download the layer, put it in, and it automatically updates live because it's not hosted by you,
Like
right?
dashboards,
It's
things like-
hosted by USGS or DOT or whoever, right?
Sure.
Whoever's putting the data out. So really you can get a much better picture, right? It's your data is organized in a better way, so you have much more visibility. You have many more data layers that you can look at and do your consequence analysis and do all your risk and everything else based on all that additional data as well. So yes, eventually it's going to AI and machine learning and all of that stuff.
So are we talking like what I would call augmented reality?
Nope.
Like, nope.
No. No, we're talking more of like pointing supercomputers and
Where
algorithms
they
at
tell
data
and they
that
tell
all
us,
like it chews on
look
it,
at point
learns.
134 because
Sure.
based on everything that we know, that could be a
I mean,
situation
I know
of
that sounds crazy to think about a world where
no,
we
no.
could say, based on the crew out, the machines that are there, and all the variables we have, right? Because we
that
have
it's
all
just
the
chew,
data.
it's just
That it
chewing
just says,
along.
I don't know, but check on.
Right.
Right.
Got
So
it.
Like
to be clear,
down the
pods,
road.
the pods model
But
doesn't do any of that, right? It's a
I'm just
way to
trying to put it
organize,
into
right?
it.
Any
But
data.
that's the future of it.
Yeah.
Like you've
I
talked
mean,
to me about
the
that, where
value of
AI
having
goes
Sure.
through
the
data is
value of the
chewing on it.
data in itself is amazing.
A quick
But
nugget on
sorry,
that.
I just
So
wanted
no,
to
it's okay
understand.
because
Cool.
this latest version that we just released at the end of last year, 7.0.1, was built specifically so that anything can be built on top of it. Any data
Sure.
that you have. If you
It's
are if
modular.
you're flying drones and and you want to add that data in there, right? You have as long as there's a point on a map, right? You can add it in there. There's a layer. You can see that data on top. Pods is the way to organize and store data and information. So it's kind of like the pods thing.
Imagine,
I
you're
know,
like
because you
floating in
store
the
it, I
air.
know, whatever. But we're better and better looking and funnier and all of the things. So, but it is a way to store your data. Now we just started 2 new working groups so each work group, right, that comes together is all made of volunteers and members of the association. Whatever you want to work on is cool. Like it's literally a playground, right? Right now, they're working on expanding the support of pods through the entire asset life cycle. So remember, we talked about it. It started with integrity management and
Right.
making sure that you had all of your data together. You submit your NPMS reports, you got all that organized, and that's great. Now they're working on a construction module with one of our member companies, Petro IT, who's here.
Yep.
You met those
Yeah,
guys.
right over here.
They're
Yeah.
leading the charge on that. Yeah, absolutely. And so that's going to be able to store all of your construction data, all your well data, all of the stuff further up into the asset lifecycle at the beginning of it. And then G2, who is an Ian engineering company, which is literally just across the way from us right now, Marissa Majal is creating an integrity regulatory task module, which will now be able to tell you, hey, I did this pig run here. Why? Which integrity management task told me that
Nice.
I needed to do this here. So now you not only do you have visibility to the data, but you have the why behind it as well. It's really these
And
guys,
more data. Right?
these oh my God, these nerds. I
Super
love these nerds
nerds.
so much. They're the best. They come up with all this great stuff. And also, by the way,
Keep going.
you can support gas gathering too. So gas gathering companies now, you guys, right? Everybody knew that the new gas gathering regulation came out. Now we have an additional 425-ish thousand
have to
miles
be.
of
Of pipe.
pipeline.
Yeah. Just
That
under 500,000, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And before you had about 650,000. So you've almost doubled the amount of mileage of federally regulated mileage of pipeline.
Ooh, that's a
I got
lot.
you.
Yeah. And so now, do you need to organize all that? Do you need to have visibility, line of sight? Do you maybe not even have a GIS system,
No
right?
doubt.
Well, guess what, gas gathering company? You now have to identify your start and end points of your entire system. And you can do that with pods.
Yeah,
You
do
can do it with the pods model of 7.0.1. It's really, really cool stuff.
A question for you. So somebody out here right now is listening to this, watching this, saying to themselves, I need this.
Yeah.
Now, understand we go to pods to learn, becoming members. As there also professional services, if somebody out there says, how do I navigate this? Where do I get started?
Sure.
There's
I
something
don't know
can
where
do.
to start.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you eat the elephant, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not because it's
How
It
do
is.
you eat an
It is a
elephant?
lot of stuff.
one bite at a time.
Good
Right.
job.
Thank you, sir. I learned from the best.
So predominantly and historically, where pods really shone was the data model, right? That was what everybody wanted, was the data model. So when pods hired me, they said they hired me because they liked my idea around. We'll see about that. We'll see how much they like it
Work
when
in
they see how much
progress.
work it's going to take. But there was an idea around because they used to have a lot more, even though we don't need any more trade associations in the in pipeline. There used to be a group called GITA, right? And they had a conference, and so they disbanded, unfortunately. And so there's a hole right now. There's no more place where people can come together as a community around pipeline data, right? Pipeline GIS, pipeline data. And so what we really want to do with pods is show that the value is not just in the data model, but it's the value is in the community, right?
Yeah.
The data,
We're
right?
building a community of people.
The story.
So
right?
now you have all these extra resources, right? The data resource center, the GIS resource center, all of the training and education library. But now you have the community as well, right? So we're doing a detailed member listing that we're working on right now. So say I'm P66 and I'm about to put out an RFP for close and rural survey work, right? Well, you know what? I'm P66 and I'm a great member of pods, and I want to support the service companies that are members of pods as well. So now I can go on and I can type in CIS in the search and I can see 4 pods member companies that do CIS. Close and rural survey work doesn't have anything to do with really GIS, right? Other than after you're done with it, you want to make sure that you have it in your system of record.
So contractors can be a part of pods as
Absolutely.
well.
Yeah, we actually
So I
have
wasn't really thinking about
we
that.
have way more operator members than we have contractor members and service companies, but we do have a lot of service company members.
Sure.
So now all of these companies, and then vice versa, the service member companies now have point of contacts at all of these operating companies so they can talk to them about potential work and business. So we truly are trying to build that community back around data management, because again, we go back to the incidents, right? Missing data,
Right.
Unorganized data, what have you. We don't want that to happen again. So we need to pull together this community and make sure that everybody's working together.
Doesn't that seem like warm right there? Pull together the community.
Just hug
We
'em.
do. Look, we have the
just wanna hug 'em.
answers. We have the answers, and we just need to get together and work on it. We even have the answers for the energy transition. Here's the deal. The pods model can be used for hydrogen, can be used for carbon, it can be used for water, it can be used for any renewables, right? Any long linear asset that you have to collect a lot of data on, we can do it. So we now have carbon sequestration companies that are members of pods, right?
Oh, wow.
Hydrogen. I mean, all of this stuff, it's really, really cool stuff.
That hydrogen episode that we viewed in St. Louis, that
was
it
cool.
Standing room only. I mean,
Yeah.
that's such a hot topic right now.
It is.
Such
It
a-
is.
Okay, I just need to wrap my head around this. So if
Sure.
let's say I become a member of this,
Uh-huh.
I know we have some scholarship events that are really great for networking and becoming ingrained in the
Yeah.
group and learning
Yeah.
about it.
That's Louisiana Pipeliners is the scholarship.
get 'em
Pods
mixed
doesn't
up.
do scholarships.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. No,
Yet.
I'm sorry.
Yet.
Yeah. Okay. So on
It's
the
his
pod
first
side, though,
podcast.
I know it is today. It is the first one
It
today.
is the one.
The pods part. When I become a member of that and involved in that, do we have?
What do I get?
Yeah. Do we have meetings? Do we have events that we go to and such?
We have all kinds of stuff. We have
Okay.
we have pods parties.
Okay.
Hi, my name's James,
Yeah.
and I'm a nerd.
We have pods
Here
casts.
for the pods.
Yeah. Oh, podcast.
Oh, I've heard about
Yes.
this.
Yes.
Yes.
I think
Hold
there was
on
one
a
this
second.
morning. Wait a minute.
We
We
did.
heard this
9
about
a.m.
this.
this morning.
We
there
had
was
one this morning at
What?
9 a.m. We had
So
Blaine
we're
Keener.
competitors.
No, we're not. No,
Yes.
we're not.
Yes,
No, we're
we
not.
are.
No, we're not.
We're
No,
not.
no,
That's the
No,
problem.
no.
We won't be competitors in this.
No,
She'll
we're
take us out.
No, we're all
done.
it-
One and done.
She'll be
You guys,
2 generations from now. Her great granddaughter or something will say, "I'm a 3rd generation podcaster, and I'm here at the Louisiana Podcasters Association." And that's the end of it, man.
Done.
right?
Well,
And she'll be a Roberts, right? Yeah, she'll be a Roberts. Yeah, no, not at all. We are not. So this morning we actually had on Leah Gooding with MPMS and Blaine Keener with Office of Pipeline Safety
big
for
deal.
PHMSA, and they work together.
See?
Yeah.
And we talked about all of the new attributes that are going to need to be captured and how to upload your information into NPMS and tips and tricks and all this stuff. So a lot of what
So
we
it's
talk
really
about
like
is very
really
much
focused
technically
on that.
based. Yes,
So we're
very
not
much
competitive.
not at all. No, you guys talk
Can
about
we
all
come
kinds of cool
on
stuff.
your podcast at some point?
You absolutely
I mean,
can.
you don't have to. We don't have to
Absolutely.
talk
I
about
would-
pods.
No,
What
we
do we
can talk
talk
about
about?
whatever you want. We can absolutely. I'm not
Snacks or
gonna. I can't guarantee that a lot of people are gonna show up for it. No.
Well, we're used to that.
We got 3
That's for
listeners.
sure. All right.
But we had 120 people on the podcast this
Well,
morning. It
then
was
you're
great.
That's
gonna
cool.
do
That's-
just
that's
fine.
really
It was
good.
really
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So the way they get involved. And I don't
Do
mean to
it.
cut you
That's
off.
what I
The
call
way
to
to get
action.
involved.
Look at the right in the camera.
We're doing so many cool things. So we have and so in a couple of weeks we're going to be doing our ILI release party. So that tool, right, that it lays on top of pods is so you can store and manage all of your ILI data in a very, very easy to use way. It's difficult sometimes because you have a lot of different ILI operators and everybody has their own system, right? So this is one place where everybody knows they can work together and organize this data. So that's going to be in a couple weeks.
Inline inspection.
Inline inspection.
Okay.
Yeah, we're literally across.
Get
From,
it.
We're across from Rosen, which is another Pods
Oh,
member.
I've heard.
like of the 8
And they just gave
Heard
you
of
they
them.
just gave you
Yeah.
the wave as
Yeah.
we walked by. Did you
Yeah.
see that?
Are
Of
we
the-
in your section?
of the 8
Like, I don't know.
8 booths just in this row, there's only 2 that are not pods members,
Oh,
and y'all are one of them.
well,
Whoa. Shots fired.
Scott,
Until now.
yeah.
Scott, Kaylee,
right.
let's
Yeah.
get on that.
No
So
big deal.
in October, in Houston, we're having our fall forum, and it's going to be a hybrid meeting, so it'll be online but also in person. And we're going to release UNET, Utility Network for Pods. So Jeff Allen with Esri, who's one of our board members, is going to come out and release that, and it's going to be really fun. So we usually have like a technical meeting, right? And we
Gotcha.
release new things and do
Yep.
stuff. But then we go to Top Golf, right? And we play golf,
Yeah,
and we
have a
have a couple
blast.
drinks, and we have
Sure.
some fun and all that. So it is a social interaction because
Again,
we
the
have that community.
Right?
It is.
But then
community.
you also get to learn a lot of information that's very good and useful for you on your day-to-day job, right? And anything that you do related to
Very
pipeline,
cool.
right?
So where can they find more info? Tell them that.
Pods.org.
Very simple.
PODS.org.
Org.
Not .com unless you're looking to move or
To
clear
get a
out your storage unit.
Yep. Okay. .org.
Pods.org. And right now, you can come in, you can see all kinds of stuff on our website. You don't have to be a member to attend any of the events. So if you want to just come check it out, right? And see what it's all about and see how much fun we're having and all that stuff.
Really?
Absolutely.
Can we be honorary members?
You sure can. You can come to
We
whatever.
won't break anything.
You can.
Don't give us admin access.
No, we will not. You
Especially me.
you sign up as a
No.
prospect and you can attend any of our events or any of our podcasts or
We'll
any of
start
those
there.
things. Yep.
So
That's a
I,
good
I'll,
on-ramp.
I'll give ourselves a challenge right now,
like
as
that.
well as everybody out there that's not. Do the challenge right there.
Yeah. You can just go on to the
I
website.
think you have to get it's with anything. When you get engaged and you start to see something firsthand, you start to see the value, and then all of a sudden things start growing exponentially to this. So I'm excited. This is really great.
It's really cool. And can I say one more thing too?
Please.
That just as
No,
just
you have it.
to pitch
Go
pods one more
ahead.
time.
You got it.
It's
So,
your show.
Our first event that we really held, that was kind of our first in-person event after COVID, was our spring forum in May. Okay. And we had a ton of people that came. We had a ton of
Where'd you hold it?
So we had it at the Rustic, downtown Houston, Discovery
Oh
Green.
yeah.
Right outside of the
Yeah.
George R. Brown.
Yep.
And we had so many airport moments, right? So you see people that haven't seen each other in a long time and they're like, oh my God, hey. And then
awesome.
Yeah.
so many airport moments. It was great.
So
And one of our service company members, Whiteley Oliver, Andy came up to me and he was like, Monique, how do you know all my customers? I was like, what are you talking about? I don't know all your customers. Who's your customers? He was like, all of my customers are here. He's like, it would take me a year
Oh wait,
and
I see an ROI value
thousands
proposition
of
coming
dollars to fly around the country to see everyone that you literally have here and have a beer with them. He's like, this is incredible. He's like, I was like, okay, well, let's sign you up for another
Let's do it.
sponsorship.
in. Cha-ching. Right? But
Sold.
it's true though. That's why we go to conferences, because how many people do we see in a day, not to mention
Yeah.
just the entire event.
I mean, how many
Absolutely.
discussions have we had this week? I mean, I'm going to use this in particular that were fruitful and
Yeah.
that will carry on. So good.
Mhm.
So I want to do something because you're just, I don't know. I think this will be fun and
Okay.
you'll enjoy it.
Okay.
No one knows about this.
Oh,
I do.
oh,
Oh, is
No,
this?
you don't.
Oh,
whoa,
I'm
okay.
over here
very
now.
nervous.
And
Here,
look,
hold on.
Can I-
here, I'm going to preface this.
Okay.
I'm going to disclaim first that I've contacted everyone in your entire life. So you don't have to feel upset. Everyone knows if they
Is this
don't
one of
get
those
named.
episodes of
Nope,
This Is
we're
Your Life?
gonna bring them in. No, one at a time. No, and no one's gonna get upset anywhere along the line if you forget anyone.
Okay.
But I want you to. You're like the name dropping person next to this guy.
Yeah,
But in a good
we're-
way, because you know everyone, right?
No, not everybody.
You've
but thank
worked
you.
with amazing people
I
in
really
the past.
have.
You know you have.
I really have.
I want you to just rattle people off and say why they're so amazing. Just random people, anybody you want.
Oh my God, are you kidding
Do
me?
it. Just grab one. Jeff Weiss.
Jeff Weiss is amazing. Jeff is the best boss that I've ever had, ever. He's absolutely amazing. Jeff also hired Mike Lamont, who's a good friend of y'all's, and
Yep.
who is my absolute buddy. Like,
go
he's
connect the dots.
amazing. Yeah.
The
From
No,
show.
Mike's awesome.
7 degrees of.
Seven
Yeah,
degrees
yeah,
of coffee,
yeah,
Jim and James.
Yeah. And then Mike and I worked with Luke Hootmacher. Luke is my partner in crime. He is amazing. He is the
I love that.
technical coordinator for
Look, you can
Pods.
tell him
He's
whatever you want.
Well, he knows what he is. He's a technical coordinator for Pods, and he's just amazing. He's absolutely amazing. Such a huge brain, it's ridiculous. And he and I used to work with a guy named Jason Craddock, and Jason Craddock is running the carbon sequestration company that I was talking about earlier, and
Oh, they just joined,
yeah,
that you were saying.
yeah, and they are building an incredible pipeline. I think it's like 2,200 miles of pipeline. It's absolutely
Wow.
incredible. And Jason is married to Faye Craddock, and Faye is amazing, and she is such an incredible integrity engineer. And she and I have a guilty pleasure that we play Pokemon together, and it's the best.
Well, Pokemon Go or
Pokemon Go. No,
like-
Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go. It's a
Fantastic.
part of my fitness regime, actually.
it's
Yeah, it makes
fantastic.
me get out and
We played it
walk,
for
and
a
I
long
love it.
time.
Yeah, and it makes me seem really cool for my
My wife
my
plays
7-year-old.
Pikmin Bloom, which
Oh,
is the same thing,
okay,
but
yeah.
Nintendo's version.
Yeah, right on, right on. So these are all people that I've worked
Amazing
with
people.
in the past. I mean, everybody's connected. You want me to keep going?
You can go as long as you want. I think this is a fantastic game that we need to start playing with people.
It was like bing, bing,
Well,
bing, bing,
everybody's
bing, bing, bing.
connected, right? I mean, when you grow up in South Louisiana, right, you just don't, like, everybody knows everybody. That's why I can't move back here ever, because everybody knows too much, right? I got
Oh.
yeah.
Do we
Yeah.
need to go through the history? at all?
Right. No, not
Let's
at all.
start-
No, but it is, and pipeline is also very, very integrated. Everybody knows everybody in
Yeah.
pipeline, and then everybody knows everybody in Louisiana, and then and it's the same in Texas, right? You
No
just
doubt.
you use 6 degrees of everything. Like, I remember when I first started out,
big, so
I'd walk
small.
around in the halls of Kinder Morgan. You remember back in the day whenever you used to be able to go to your clients' offices. Remember that?
yeah.
Remember vaguely, right?
I was never in that world.
Yeah, I'd walk around and somebody'd be like, "Is that a Roberts? I hear a Roberts in the hallway." It's like, and
Loud.
it's just, yeah,
You can tell. There's
Yeah.
not a question.
yeah, exactly,
love
exactly.
it.
And so, yeah, everybody is and so that's why we all have each other's backs, and that's why Pods is so great, because we can all work together to innovate and bring all that forward. And so you knew I was going to bring it back to Pods. I
Love
love Pods. Pods is the coolest thing,
The
man.
coolest.
It really is.
So cool.
It really is.
I can't remember what.
Pods.org.
Pods.org.
Hey, did
Org,
we
yeah.
ask? What did we ask you last time as the final question? Did we ask you anything?
I don't remember.
Do you remember? Did we ask
Uh,
her the big question,
no, I don't think we did.
or the campaign question, or anything?
I don't think we did. It was a short segment, so
Why don't we do the big question?
yeah,
the big
do
normal
it.
question.
Do it.
Should I be
You
nervous?
ready? You should be so nervous.
I mean, I'm
But
already
I want
nervous.
you to lean in.
Okay.
Just give us your heart, okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
pull this from
Wherever
the
it
soul.
wherever it
Okay,
lies.
okay.
You scared now?
Yeah.
Do you love what you do?
Oh my God. I do. I love what I do. I tried like the Dickens. I'm trying not to
That's
curse.
a Robert.
Trying not to
No,
curse.
they would
Oh
never
yeah,
say
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Tried so hard to not get into pipeline. I tried so hard. Like I took all these stupid jobs like to try to not be in pipeline. But you can't, right? It's like the mafia. You can't get away from it. And so not only
heard
do
that a lot
I
this week.
do I get
Yeah,
to work
Louisiana.
with these pipeliners, I love pipeliners so much. They're the coolest people, right? And so
No
I get to
doubt.
work with these people, and I get to work for a nonprofit that is focused on safety, right? And data transparency. And then on top of that, like, I get to hang out with you guys. I get to do all this
We're
stuff.
getting paid right now.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
And
like,
we're sponsored.
yeah, yeah.
Because I get my meals. too.
Exactly.
While I'm on
And
the road.
the number one thing, do I love what I do? Michael is so much happier now that I am happy.
Amen.
Michael and Lucky, right? So Michael says I work too much, right? And that's the other person that I need to say is such an incredible force in my
Go
life.
for it.
Michael and I have been together for almost 8 years now, and I was not looking for that at all, and we have a lovely home, and we have a lovely family, and yes, our family includes the dog. Don't judge.
No, that's
And-
so does ours.
And,
yeah.
I don't include my dog in
Yeah.
my family.
and last year he said that it was too much. He was like, "You're too stressed out. You're not happy. You're not having fun. All those things. Go do what you need to do to have fun." And man, I'm so grateful for that. So yes, I am doing what I love to do. This is the best. I
Yeah.
literally have the best job ever.
No, you can
Every-
hardly tell.
No, every time you call her name, like where we're here and we say, "Hey, Monique," and all of a sudden she's like, "Yep, what are we doing?" Could be anything, Who am I
love
going
it.
to talk to next?
What's happening? If I'm not talking, like, I don't think I don't think I could breathe. Like I think I have to talk to be able to breathe.
I,
It's the weirdest thing.
yeah,
But I understand,
yeah.
yes. I think you're correct.
Guys, I really appreciate you spending some time with me. Like you
She
guys
wrapped it up.
made
She's
me
a
feel
pro, I told
so
you.
special. Like seriously, so special.
We
Because
were doing the pre-show,
I've
and
been
she said,
seeing y'all from afar forever, and I was like, I wonder if they'll ever pick me.
we were doing the pre-show, and she said, what are we going to talk about?
Yeah.
And we're like, we're just gonna let you talk.
silly.
Yeah. And,
Yeah,
and
you're
then they
gonna go.
said, your favorite subject, Monique, yourself.
Yourself. She said, where will I start? And then here we are,
Yeah.
75 minutes later. This is
Did
a long
I
form
do what you guys did? I
nailed
cover
it. You're a
everything.
rock star.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
you did fantastic.
Thank you so much for all you do
Yeah, thank you.
here, all you do
Oh yeah.
everywhere.
Thank you guys. Absolutely. You
You
guys
are
do.
You're
an
a
asset
champion.
to our industries.
Very
And
thankful
you
for
know
all your
what?
friends.
I know you are, but what am I?
Wow.
Whoa.
Do you watch Stranger Things?
No, I can't. It's too scary.
Jeez.
I can't even watch
I don't know.
Beetlejuice.
Really?
I'm a wuss. Oh yeah.
We've
Absolute
said
wuss.
Beetlejuice 3 times.
Stop it.
now.
Ah.
All right, we gotta go. Man,
Until next time
what an
on Coffee
episode.
with
That's
Jim
our
and James.
best.
This has been fantastic.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate
you.
it. Thank you. Bye.